It's time for you as a salesperson to maximize your pay plan. And today, we're going to talk about just that, how you can maximize your pay plan, regardless of your pay plan. If you're a salesman, you have a pay plan and you get paid a commission when you sell a vehicle. Even if your store is commission free, you're still getting a set amount when you sell a vehicle, which then therefore is a commission. But do most of you maximize your pay plan? You have to know your pay plan inside and out, and you have to work your pay plan. The reason why your manager put the set pay plan in front of you, because it's intended to push you to fulfill the metrics that are most important to the dealership. And if you do so, the dealership wins, and so do you. But first, you got to understand it, and you got to be willing to work every angle of it. So everybody's pay plan is going to be a little bit different, but there's going to be a set minimum commission for every vehicle you sell. Then there's going to be a percentage commission, if you're paid on commission, on how much you're going to get paid when a vehicle sells. So you either get a minimum commission if there's no profit in the vehicle, or you get a percentage of the commission, which is of the profit when you do sell the vehicle. Then there's usually different layers or tiers, how you get paid, certain things to pay attention to when it comes to the commission of the pay plan. For instance, maybe you get paid on back-end product, maybe you get paid on products that you sell, maybe you get paid on accessories, maybe you get paid on trade-ins. So what I need you to do is I need you to get a copy of your pay plan. And what I want you to do, the first thing is I want you to look at the pay plan, and then we're going to write down 5 different ways, okay? 5 different ways that you can make a set amount of money, which is your goal that you want to make every month. Whether that's $5,000, $7,500, $10,000, whatever it is, I need you to break it down 5 different ways how you can take your pay plan and make that amount of money. And they have to be completely different. So if you get a minimum commission, you're going to put some minimum commissions down, because not every vehicle is going to have profit in it. If you get paid on back end, how many warranties, gap insurance, stuff like that. Do you have to sell other back end products that you might get a little bit of spiff on, accessories if you get paid on that, trade-ins, all these different metrics that are in your pay plan. I don't see your pay plan. If you want to, DM me and I'll help you work this out personally. But you got to go through your pay plan, okay? And you got to come up with the 5 ways. And the reason why I say this is because once you fully understand that you have multiple ways to make the set amount of money that you're trying to make, then everything becomes that much more important. So if you show up every single day and all you're trying to do is conquer the big gross deals and make the good commission on each deal, that's awesome and that's fine. But what's the chances of that really happening? Maybe at your dealership it does, but most dealerships, that's just not the case. There's going to be some vehicles that you sell that they just don't have no profit. It's an old age used car, it's an old age new car, and there's just no profit to be made on the vehicle. And if that's the case, obviously you're not going to make a commission on every single vehicle that you sell. So that might mean, like, okay, let's say you get $250 to sell a brand new vehicle that has no profit in it. And that's what you get, $250. Okay. Now I would say, okay, $250. Now, do you get anything from the manufacturer? Okay, layer that on. Do you get something if you present the warranty and gap and the customer decides to protect their investment? Okay. Do you get paid on accessories? Okay, we'll add that in, right? Any metric that you get would then be on top of that. So it's like, if you get 250, is it possible with all the other stuff out there, is it possible for you to make $500 on a vehicle that has no profit based on all these other metrics? And if it is, how many of those would you have to sell? How many vehicles would you have to sell? How many of the extra layers of your pay plan would you have to meet in order for each vehicle to be $500? Okay. And if that's the case, let's say one way to make $7,500 in your pay plan based on the 500. So that's how many cars you'd have to sell. That's how many of the warranties, or that's the spiffs that you'd have to make. And you layer that out, and it's like, boom, I can make $7,500 every single month, even if every single deal is a minimum commission if I hit these metrics. Now you might want to go to the next one and go, okay, well, you know what? I've been looking at all my deals. I do make a little bit of commission on, let's say if I sold 15 cars, let's say 6 of them have a little bit of commission in them. And what's the commission average that I make per vehicle? Okay, so you got the commission vehicles. Now you go back down. Now I got the minimum commission vehicles, and then I got the other spiffs that I get, and and you layer it down. There's another way, okay? And do this 5 different ways on your pay plan, and figure out to let yourself know what you're doing is letting yourself know, hey, it is a reality regardless of what vehicles I'm selling. It's in my power, it's in my control to hit my goal, my number. But most salespeople, they show up to work, they don't have a plan, and they're just winging it and see what happens. And then the month ends, and then they want to walk up to the sales manager. They want to complain, oh, I didn't make any money today. I didn't make any money this month. Everything I sold was minimum commission and this, and the trade-ins, and, everything just was terrible. And all the customers I had, just nobody wanted to pay, money on a vehicle. And they just are full of excuses. Okay. You have the ability to control your outcome, but there's things that you can't control. You can't control if a customer comes in and you're on an old age vehicle that has no profit in it. You can't control if you get a customer that picks out a new vehicle and the manager has it on special and there's no commission. There's things that you can't control, but what you can control is the details of your pay plan. You can control that. You just choose not to because you want to be lazy, and you don't actually want to take the time and the effort to figure it out. Every single month, show up, have your pay plan, have your 5 solid ways that you can make your set amount of money that you need to make, how many cars that's going to take you to make that amount, how many customers it takes you to sell that many cars, how many test drives it takes you in order to get this many write-ups to this many sold. You got to know this stuff, okay? So if you're going to sell 15 cars a month, how many customers does it take you to sell 15 cars? Do the math. Go back through your CRM over the last year and get an average and figure it out. How many customers do you have to talk to in order to sell 15 cars? How many of those 15 are walk-in customers? How many of those are internet customers? How many of those are phone call customers? Are you going over to service and talking to service? If so, how often? How many people are you doing? Then I want you to go through last year, and I want you to go through every single activity you sent out, okay? And I want you to do this math. I want you to go through, and I want you to write down for the entire year, how many phone calls did you make? Okay, how many phone calls did you attempt to make? How many emails did you send out last year? How many text messages did you send out last year? How many videos did you send out last year? And then I want you to take that number, total it up. Hopefully it's a big number. I'm hoping it's a big number. And then I want you to divide that number by the amount that you sold. And then what that's going to tell you is how much activity does it take in order to sell one vehicle. Okay? And then you're going to tell yourself, okay, now I even know that. Now I even know to sell 15 people, I got to do this much activity, because every activity I do starts calculating up, and it takes X amount of activity to sell one car. So in order to sell 15 cars, I got to do this much activity to have a shot at doing it. Now, if you can do it in less, you're getting skilled, right? But if you can't, you need to work on the skill. But the effort part, that's in your control. The effort part's in your control. So if you're a salesperson, you go to your manager and go, man, I put forth all the effort. I don't know why I didn't sell my goal. Can you help me out? Yes, we can then help you out. But if you're not willing to put forth the effort, how are we going to help you? That's number one. Okay. So now we know these things, and we just layer out the details. The better the details, the better chance you're going to hit your goal. Because here's what's going to happen. When a customer walks in and you know that they picked out a vehicle with no commission in it, you know that instead of you getting discouraged, you're going to go, okay, I got to focus on the warranty. I got to focus on the gap insurance. I got to focus on the trade-in. I got to focus on the accessories, or whatever it is in your pay plan. You're going to focus on that stuff. I got to focus on making sure I get a perfect review from the customer. Okay. And then all of a sudden, instead of that being the minimum commission, you're looking at the higher number, because now you're going to start perfecting your craft and perfecting the process, because this one customer, even though they're on the minimum commission vehicle, you still got this goal up here that you want to hit. Okay. So you, not your manager, you have to show up with the plan. And if your plan doesn't work and you put forth the effort, now it's time to go to the manager and talk to the manager. Because now you're not going to look like a fool when you go to them and you have all your ducks in a row and you said, hey, I have a solid plan. Will you look at my plan and let me know if it's unreasonable? And then, hey, I put forth all the effort. Can we dive into the effort that I put and see what happened? But I would be willing to bet that if you did this on a consistent basis, month after month after month, those conversations with your manager, they won't be happening. If you watch my videos all the time and actually do what I'm saying, those conversations wouldn't happen, because you would actually put forth the effort. And when you put forth the effort, magic just starts to happen. So leave me a comment, leave me a like, whatever you want. DM me if you have a pay plan. DM me. I'll go over your pay plan with you and we'll come up with 5 ways. Okay? But it starts with you. All right, guys. Have a great day.
We all show up, but we ain't built the same. One's chasing glory, one's playing the game. One's got the gift, don't break a sweat. The other's out here grinding with nothing left. One wants the crowd, the lights, the fame. The other's in the dark, just building a name. One was born with it, one had to grow. One's got talent, one's got hustle.